Jeopardy! Ken Jennings was not first choice to replace Trebek many Jeopardy! Fans have taken a long time to warm up to Ken Jennings as the host of the beloved game show. It might come as a surprise to viewers that Jennings wasn't the studio's first choice to replace Alex Trebek either. An inside source has revealed that the current host needs to work on some things to stay on the game show long term. Keep reading to see what they revealed. Ken Jennings' on-air personality is lacking, that's right. Ken Jennings wasn't initially chosen to replace the late Alex Trebek on Jeopardy! Overall, Jennings doesn't have the easygoing television presenter personality they were looking for. Although he has substantial experience on the game show, he wasn't the person the studio really wanted. Despite that, Jennings was named the sole host of the game show in December 2023 after his co-host Mayim Bialik was let go. Before the pair were named interim co-hosts, a number of presenters were placed in the role to see how they would do. While Ken Jennings' knowledge of trivia and the game was never in question, his on-air charisma is iffy. Jennings first appeared on Jeopardy! In 2004 and still holds the record for the longest winning streak in the game's history with 74 total wins. That said, his transition from champion to being the face of the show hasn't been the smoothest. Prior to taking on the hosting role, he's never had another major television credit to his name. However, his lack of experience isn't keeping Jennings from working on himself to ensure his hosting role is a long-term job. A source close to the show's production told the U.S. Sun that his on-screen personality is something Ken is trying to improve. Jennings is the new face of Jeopardy! The long-term goal with his hosting has been for him to bring more of the easygoing, likable side of him to his on-air interactions with contestants, the insider said. That's far easier said than done because the episode tapings are highly technical and there isn't a lot of wiggle room in that format. To his credit, Ken is self-aware and knows his issues are always going to be how his personality reads on camera, and not his proven expertise with trivia or with the Jeopardy! Game itself. They continued, saying that Ken is aware of the issue, Sony knows it, and everybody knows that it is the sole reason he was not the first choice to replace Alex Trebek. Ultimately, Ken Jennings landed the hosting gig on Jeopardy! Because the other candidates didn't work out. Hosting the show isn't the only thing Ken Jennings is in charge of, though. While he only tapes 2 days a week with 5 games per tape day, his job expands beyond the set of Jeopardy! The insider revealed that there is more to it than that. Jennings also has to show up at recruiting events around the United States. He is also working on various merchandising and spin-offs of the show, which are very important to keeping the whole enterprise profitable as the new face of Jeopardy! Choosing Ken over Mayim Bialik, who has been on television for decades, may have appeared to be a bit of a gamble, but it's paying off overall. The ratings are backing up the studio's decision, and as long as those ratings hold up, and Ken Jennings manages to steer clear of any public issues, Sony will likely stick with him. When the iconic Alex Trebek passed away in 2020, Jeopardy! Faced an enormous challenge in finding a successor. Trebek's legacy loomed large over the beloved quiz show, making the task of choosing a new permanent host fraught with pressure. Interestingly, Ken Jennings, the record-breaking Jeopardy! Champion, was not the show's first choice to replace Trebek. Although Jennings was a logical candidate, having won 74 consecutive games and earning a special place in the hearts of Jeopardy! Fans, his ascension to the podium came only after a series of high-profile auditions and some surprising developments. Initially, producers sought someone with a broad appeal to fill Trebek's shoes. Names like LeVar Burton, the beloved Reading Rainbow host, and even sports commentator Joe Buck were floated as potential replacements. Mike Richards, an executive producer of the show, was briefly announced as the permanent host in 2021. However, Richards quickly stepped down after controversy emerged over past remarks and actions, leaving the show in flux once again. As the Jeopardy! Search continued, Jennings' deep knowledge of the game, calm demeanor, and existing connection with fans ultimately made him a more viable option. While others auditioned for the role, Jennings' credibility as a Jeopardy! Legend helped ease the transition in the eyes of the audience. He stepped into the role as interim host and later shared hosting duties with actress Mayim Bialik. The process showed that sometimes the best choice isn't necessarily the first choice. Ken Jennings may not have been Jeopardy's immediate pick, but his intimate knowledge of the game and long history with the show eventually won him the role, continuing Trebek's legacy in a way fans could embrace.